Title fraud. Make sure you have a reputable title company taking care of you, because you don't want somebody to come steal your identity and steal your title on your home. Ricardo Braddick here, Real Estate Braddick, and today I have Jackie from Title. How you doing, Jackie?
Hi, good morning.
So introduce yourself.
Sure, I'm Jackie Dominguez. I'm with Team Dominguez at Driggs Title. I work out of the Metro office on 28th Avenue in Peoria.
Okay.
I've been with Driggs Title for 14 years, but doing title and escrow for 20.
Wow. And so today, because I'm sure you've seen it, title fraud. I know that's been a big thing coming out more often on title. So what you guys, especially Team Dominguez, what are you guys doing to possibly prevent title fraud, helping, of course, poor realtors like us that don't know too much of that kind of stuff?
That's a great question. So what we implemented about a year ago, because title fraud is on the rise, along with wire fraud, is that these fraudsters are getting super creative. They're acting as the owner of record, specifically on vacant lands or free and clear properties, because there isn't any mortgage liens, there isn't any liens or anything to be satisfied.
Okay.
So it's this quick, easy, almost like a deed transfer. It is coming through title and escrow, but it's free and clear. And if we're dealing with an out-of-state seller, which happens from time to time, we'll have to coordinate out-of-state signings. And we do have a strict rule that we have to use approved notaries that have been vetted for Driggs Title and any kind of signings that are not happening in the office in front of us.
Right.
But there is an exception to the rule. The exception to the rule is signing with a bank, with an attorney, or with another title company.
Okay.
So if these sellers are savvy enough and they are getting there, they'll tell us, oh yeah, I'm going to go to my bank, or I'm going to go to the title company here. I'm going to go to my attorney.
Yeah.
We will release those documents to them and allow them to take them, sign them, and then overnight them back. Because they're signing in front of one of those notaries, we can reach out to them to verify if anything were to happen. So what we do is we verify the notary. We also send out a letter when escrow is opened, especially if the property is free and clear. These are the ones that are on higher levels for fraud watches. We'll send out a letter to the mailing address on the tax bill.
Okay.
9 times out of 10, that letter is going to be received.
Yeah.
Since we implemented that process, we have a fraud prevention team that just generates those out as soon as escrow's open.
Nice.
It's usually received within the first 10 days of escrows being open, and that's during your inspection period.
Okay.
We have actually stopped at least a half a dozen of potential fraud at just Team Dominguez alone at Metro Branch.
Wow.
What happens is that the sellers will call, because it'll say in the letter, if you're not under escrow, or if you haven't signed this contract, or your intent is not to sell your property, please call us right away.
Reach out. Yeah.
So we get those calls, and of course they're frantic.
Oh yeah.
They're scared, and they're like, no, we're not selling our property. So we are able to stop those dead in their tracks, but sometimes they do get a little savvy, and there's been situations where we get like all the way up to recording, and then after verifying a few things.
And so do you guys have, say, for bilingual speakers there too? Because we get Hispanic purchasers or home buyers. Do you have anybody in the office that may speak Spanish?
Yes,
so we can help my Spanish speaking clients.
Yes. So Team Dominguez has a team of 5 people. Everybody on the team speaks Spanish except for me.
With the last name Dominguez.
Yeah, with the last name Dominguez. I didn't choose that, but yes. So we are. Biola Farinas is one of my junior escrow officers on my team. Connie Moreno is our client service concierge. We have Linda in the front, and all of us speak Spanish, or all of them speak Spanish. So we know with the Hispanic community, they feel more comfortable if we speak their language.
Of course.
So we do verify, like we get their identity. We send out the opening packages. We have the statement of IDs that are sent out. We have them sign, and a lot of times that we're able to verify the fraud off of the signature. Let everybody know what to kind of keep an eye for, what these people are doing. Okay. So give me an example of what happened. Sure. They're getting super savvy. Like I said, they get better and better every year with defrauding people. Yeah. So we got a contract, and it was an MLS listing. He hired a real estate agent here locally to represent him, the fraudster. Right? He was out of state, and that's not uncommon for you guys, right? You deal with out-of-state sellers or buyers.
They want to move over or sell their property from over here. I've had that. Yep.
You just talk verbally on the phone or text or email. You never actually see the person. Right? And you guys aren't looking for photo IDs for a seller.
No.
So We get the contract. It's vacant land. It's free and clear. This was before we started our fraud prevention, before we started sending out the fraud letters. So we get all the way to signing. The scenario was the same. He was out of state. He wanted to sign with another title company. So we approved it.
Okay.
We get the documents back. They're signed. They're notarized. We submit our recording package. And what happens is the recorder, thank goodness, happened to look at the ID, look at the previous vesting deed that they had signed when they purchased it, and then compared it to the signed new documents that we received.
Wow.
And it was off. So immediately we halted the closing. We started our research. We started calling them, asking them to come in. They started pushing back, started getting angry.
Fraudster.
The fraudster. We're like, come in and sign, we'll have to make it work because there's something off. And, he was upset saying he can sign how he wants. So when stuff like that happens, when they're not cooperative, then it's even a bigger red flag.
Bigger red flag, yeah.
Yeah. So after a little bit of research, we were able to track down the real owner. They called us, frantic, of course. After it was said and done, we stopped the transaction. Had that closed, we would have wired out over $250,000 to the seller, right? That we probably would have never gotten back.
Yeah. It's very hard to get any of that money back when you sell it. Now, not getting the money back, but what about getting the house back, at least put back into the, how does that work? And
Absolutely.
I understand there's insurance you guys have.
So yeah, that's the beauty of going through title and escrow. Because had that happened, had we closed, had we funded and recorded, that $250,000 would have came from title and escrow. That would have been a claim on us. But that's what we have our E&O insurance for, and that's what we're there for.
Wow.
We don't like to pay out claims.
Of course not.
But of course, that's what insurance is for when it's needed. So having title and escrow involved in your real estate transactions is a huge bonus.
Yeah.
I know you guys can do these on your own, just deeding, but remember, you're not having somebody check that title.
Yeah.
You're not insured. So if anything goes wrong, you're on your own.
Yeah.
So the sellers, of course, had we closed, we would have reverted that back to the sellers.
Okay.
Then we would have had to have, gone after the fraudsters for that money, but would have been no money out of the seller's pocket.
For sure. Okay.
So that happened.
Wow.
Filed a claim. I mean, it's actively being investigated, but they're slick.
They are. They're
slick,
getting
and they're
getting
savvy.
better, stealing identities.
They had an ID, so we get their ID. They had an ID. They sent it. What they did is they created an ID based off of the Facebook pictures of the actual owners. So they did their research. They found the real owners. They took pictures and they made IDs, and that's what they used when they notarized the documents.
So social media, man, we love it because it brings us closer to people, and we work and collaborate. But at the same time, you have them people out there watching your stuff, and trying to steal identities. That's scary.
Yep.
That they actually went through a social media to do that.
It was really scary, especially when I sent the copies of the IDs to the owners and they saw that was their profile pictures from social media.
Oh, yeah.
They recognized that really freaked them out.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, where were the owners?
They were in Hawaii.
Oh.
Yeah, they were out of state. But, now going forward, because we create that letter and it goes to the mailing address, they're getting those notifications right away, right? Because it's going to the tax bills. Most people are paying their taxes on their property.
Right.
So we're not even seeing as much fraud as we were before. I mean, it was happening like every other day at different offices. Yeah.
That's what I heard all the time. It's like, man, these, they're starting to steal, especially we're talking about ones that don't have mortgages on them. They're free and clear. Those are the more ones to go to, right?
Yep. Free and clear vacant land.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that aren't being monitored and watched, especially like if you're a homeowner and you just have some parcel of land out in Wickenburg or some small town, right? Ajo or something. Yeah. You're not really paying attention to that. Yeah. So those are the ones that they're picking up, the outskirts ones, the ones that people aren't paying attention to. People, unfortunately, some owners are not finding out until like a year after
the fact
that they're not the vested owner anymore.
That would suck.
Yep. It's a lot of work to undo that. It's hard to find them and to prosecute them.
Yeah, it is.
So there's obviously there. I don't know if you've seen the commercials. They're starting to advertise for the insurance on the land to like lock them. Land lock them and stuff. What I tell people, like investors, particularly, especially in my group of investors, is if you have a property, even if it's a regular resale residential property or vacant land, whatever it is, if it's free and clear, slap a $10,000 to $15,000 deed of trust on it.
Oh, yeah.
And even if it's a deed of trust that is between you and your wife, you know she's
Yes.
going to release it, right? If you ever
Yes.
needed to do anything with that
Right.
property.
That's smart.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even think about that. Yeah,
Because
yeah.
if there's deeds of trust on the property, title has to reach out to those people to pay them off or to get a
Yes.
release.
Yes.
So the fraudsters are staying away from there because there's no way for them to
Yeah.
do that, right? There's
Yeah.
no way for them to get rid of that mortgage.
Right, for sure. Yeah, yeah. Dang, that's a good one to actually have a small deed to your, even your kid or someone who's 18 or older,
Yes.
maybe, or your wife.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to talk a little bit about wire frauds too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, cause that's been a big one. Everybody uses Zelle, everybody uses Venmo, Cash App. So, that's just very common practice nowadays with
wiring,
everybody,
yeah.
right? So a lot of people will want to wire in their earnest monies or their closing funds.
Yep.
What we're finding is that the emails are being intercepted.
Mm.
So I'll be in escrow with you. I'll send you your wiring instructions
yep.
so you can send in your earnest money.
Yes.
Well, they see the emails going back and forth. So they'll generate an email looking like it's from the title company.
And change it by like one or
And
two
they'll
letters or numbers.
Yep, they'll change the wiring instructions. So when you're working with Driggs Title, specifically Team D, we're super adamant that you call to verify those instructions before you send out the wire. You're going to hear that from every title company across the board. However, but that's super important for us because we have actually had emails forwarded to us that appear that they're from us that have been intercepted and the wire instructions have been changed.
Jeez, I've seen that actually because I know with my parents, they're elderly, or older,
Yes.
and they were like, "Hey, look, they send us this email." I said, "Hey, just call them, make sure it's them sending it to you.
Yes.
Be sure before you send this money." And they would do that, which I recommend that for all my clients, anyways, is to
Yes.
keep in touch with title. Don't just assume the email you're getting is from them because people are, like you said, very sly, man.
100%. When escrow is open at Driggs Title in any office or any escrow officers, they're gonna get an email from our admins just talking about the wire fraud and the possibility of it and how important it is. So we send out 3 or 4 notifications on that.
Okay.
The reason why is if you send me that wire and it was to the wrong account, there's nothing that I can do at that point.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so adamant that we verify. Just yesterday, we had an escrow officer who requested an updated payoff before she was getting ready to fund and record.
Okay.
We got the email from the payoff lender. We opened it, and thank God we have the fraud prevention team because they're always double, tripling, checking, especially in accounting. The accounting that was getting ready to wire out that payoff was like, wait a minute, you had a payoff when you opened up escrow and it had this wire instructions. Now we have an updated payoff, because that's normal practice.
Right.
And the instructions are different.
Oh.
So we started investigating and found out that email had been intercepted and they were trying to defraud us by sending us different instructions for the payoff.
Oh my goodness. So they're even going after the title company.
They're attacking
every direction.
Any wire that goes out, however creative they can come up with, they are coming up with to divert those wires.
Yeah, that's one thing we also, and every client I have them sign the wire fraud, read it to understand it. Because the same reasons,
Yes.
man. These people are just getting in there and stealing your stuff.
Yeah, not most people have $5,000 just to give to somebody.
No, of course
right?
not.
People have worked really hard to get that earnest money, to get their down payment, to get their closing funds. So to have that be gone and literally there's nothing that we can do at that point because we weren't the sending we didn't send the wire.
And especially in these times, these times are a lot tougher and stuff. So to lose that kind of money is not, it's not fun.
Right. I just want to share a little bit about Team Dominguez. We've been at Metro Center for 5 years. Again, I've been at Driggs Title for 14. One of the things I love about Driggs Title, our little slogan is ahead of the rest. And I do really feel that way because title insurance is title insurance no matter where you go, right?
Yeah.
You know what you're going to get from McDonald's and you know what you're going to get from In-N-Out, right? You're going to pay the difference for a better burger.
Yeah.
Title insurance is the same. It's not better at any one company or the other. It's all the same. What makes us different is our service and what we provide to our clients.
Okay.
One of the things I think is huge for us, I know Manny has mentioned it before, is every single person on Team Dominguez is 100% commission paid.
That's right.
We don't get a base salary. We don't get a check every 2 weeks. So we're not 8 to 5ers.
Okay.
We're there in the morning. We're there in the evenings. I'm working when you're working.
There
I'm
you
working
go.
when my agents and my lenders are working. If you
Nice.
need a fee quote on the weekend, you can reach me.
Nice.
You need to reach me in the after hours on my cell phone, you can.
There you go. That's the
Yeah.
kind of service you want too,
Love it, yes.
especially when it's this big of a purchase and a bigger of a investment.
Yeah, well, we're vetted with you because if it doesn't close, we don't get paid.
Yeah.
So the service I feel is top notch.
Okay.
The communication I feel is huge because we've got to communicate to make sure those files get closed. We also provide moving trucks. We provide a free home warranty for the Q4 right now through American Home Shield for your buyers. That helps with negotiating when it's your listings. We also have the client signing experience. So when they come, they're not just sitting there in a cold room. It feels homey. We're celebrating. We're celebrating.
Yes.
That's what we're doing. We're celebrating the signing for the seller and the buyer. We're recognizing the agent as the feature person of the signing. Yeah. So we're constantly doing whatever we can to make you guys look better, to make us look good,
For sure.
so that those clients continue to come back.
Yeah, and then use you again because of that experience, right? Everything is experience. We go back because of something special that we felt about that company.
Yes.
And so you providing all that definitely for my clients, my watchers, and I really appreciate it. Jackie, man, a lot of good information, and you definitely, gave these people some insight on what could happen with, again, these frauds and wiring fraud. So I really appreciate you coming out.
Thank you.
Fantastic information. I will put her information here, but go ahead and let them know where to reach you at.
So you can reach me at Metro Center Branch on 28th Avenue, Peoria. My cell phone number is 623-225-1541, and Team D at drickstitle.com. You can reach all 5 of us.
Fantastic. So that's where you'll go to get title. Of course, I'll guide you in the right direction when you come to me to purchase your home or even sell your home. This is just another great open house. Thank you again, Jackie.
Thank you
Real
for having
Estate
me.
Braddick out. Hey, you're welcome. Thank you for coming and sharing this information.
Absolutely.
Everyone take care. Peace.
Bye.